free to join in when you feel like you know what you're singing. It's really simple.
Oops, sorry, I started a different song. Sorry about that. We're going to start with this one.
It's in 3.
Yeah, it's in 3? Okay, that's good. 1, 2. Thank you. I'm not alone, 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 I'm not alone. I forgot for a minute who I belong to. The Mama Earth, the wind and rain, the wave and the pain. I'm not alone. For me, the world was created. I'm not alone. To dust I will return. I'm not alone. 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 I forgot for a minute who I belong to. The Mama Earth, the wind and rain, the beauty and the pain. I'm not alone. For me, the world was created. I'm not alone. To dust I will return. I'm not alone. 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 I'm not alone.
Come into this place which we make holy by our presence. Come in with all your vulnerabilities and strengths, fears and anxieties, loves and hopes. For here you need not hide, nor pretend, nor be anything other than who you are called to be. Come into this place where we can touch and be touched, heal and be healed, forgive and be forgiven. Come into this place where the ordinary is sanctified, the human is celebrated, and the compassionate is expected. Come into this place, for together we make it a holy place. And as we begin our service, let us take a moment to acknowledge the land we are gathered upon, the traditional land of the Duwamish people, stewards of this land in the past and the present. As we ground ourselves on this land with humility and gratitude, we honor this land and the Duwamish tribe and commit to our role in the story of repair of our relationship with this land and its people. Whoever you are, wherever you have come from, whatever the color of your skin, whoever and however you love, however your body moves and your brain works, however you identify, you are welcome in this faith community. Our Unitarian Universalist tradition has no test of faith, no creed or oath to swear. We have instead the promises we make to one another, commitments to healing a hurting world within and beyond these walls. Welcome, everyone.
Good morning. I'm Amy Schiefelbein, a worship associate, joined this morning by Reverend Carter Smith and Henry Sikora. It is good to be together for the service on the theme of worthiness and deserving. We are pleased to welcome WSUU member Henry Sikora into our pulpit for the first time to preach on what it means to deserve something and how societal views on deserving impact our lives. Henry has felt a call to UU ministry that he is exploring while he completes his studies at the Evergreen College. If you're with us for the first time or the first time in a while, we are glad to have you. If you haven't already, please scan the QR code in the pew. There you can sign up for our newsletter, The West Side Week. This chalice is the symbol of our Unitarian Universalist heritage. May its heat energize us for the work that is ours to do. May its light make our vision clear and bright. May its warmth comfort us always. This morning, as we light this flame, we mark this time as sacred time. We mark this space as sacred space. Our chalice lighter today is Barbara Hansen. Now, as Barbara lights our chalice, please join me in speaking the words of our congregation's affirmation. Love is the doctrine of this congregation. The quest for truth is our sacrament, and service is our prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve humanity in fellowship. Thus do we covenant with one another. Now let's greet our neighbors. We can continue those conversations downstairs after the service. As is our community tradition, our chalice lighter has been asked to share a reflection so we can get to know them better. Barbara, will you please come forward?
Hi, I'm Barbara Hansen, and I've been chalice lighter before. A couple of years ago, I came and spilled my secret that I have face blindness. And I want to thank the people of this congregation for being so patient with me, so welcoming. I was really glad that I told you. I had only found out recently myself. I keep up with science news, and I knew there was such a condition. It's called prosopagnosia, and it never occurred to me that I might have it, because I thought that neurological conditions are for other people, not for me. So it's been, I'm really glad that I didn't try to keep on faking it. And I must tell you that if I have not greeted you by your name unprompted, I probably still am figuring out who you are. I can do there's about 25 people that I can recognize if I run into them at Trader Joe's. And the rest of you I can recognize in the context, or maybe not at all. One time at the coffee hour, I wanted to give Cindy Jackson a big hug because I really admire her. And after I got done doing that, I looked up, and the real Cindy Jackson was just walking in the door. I have no idea who I hugged. I hope it wasn't somebody here for the first time. So that's how it is. And I just recently told my dance classes the same thing because I was not knowing their names. Even though I had a list, it was not enough. I wanted to talk again today. I was glad to be invited because I'd like to share with you what I've learned since then. Because I thought when I, spilled this news that I was talking to a group of normal people with maybe just a handful who had some kind of disorder or other. And what I found out since then is that all of us are somewhere or other on a whole bunch of different scales on the spectrum, this spectrum, that spectrum, and that far from being a bunch of normal people with a handful of misfits, we are a whole group of people with our own individual peculiarities. And what I thought was, a whole bunch of normal people out there that was probably going to judge me. Normal people is just an idea. It's a mathematical idea of all of the individual peculiarities averaged out together. Normal, norm means average. But you wouldn't have the concept of average if there wasn't just these huge differences. And so, I am glad that I'm living at a time where we're beginning to understand that there's more than one way to be valued. There's more than one way to be loved. There's more than one way to be welcomed. And you might be in a meeting here or there where besides being asked to talk about your pronouns, you're also invited to talk about your access needs. And that means let people know what is the best way for them to help you be your best self. And I think that this is really a wonderful concept, and I'm glad to share it with you this morning. Thank you.
Thank you, Barb. We invite you to rise and body our spirit for our opening hymn, number 1053, How Could Anyone? We're going to sing it 3 times.
Thank you, Rainier Reunion. It is now time for All Ages, which is being led today by Ryan Cowdery. Anyone of any age who wishes to see or hear them better, please come down to the floor to sit, or you can sit in the front pews. After our story, children and youth will be invited to today's religious exploration program where they will celebrate all things melon. There will be melon coloring pages, melon word searches, and best of all, melon tastings. There may even be leftovers for adults after the service.
Good morning. I want to check on some knowledge first, because it's kind of important to the story. Does anyone here know what a god is? God? Okay. Yeah, we don't always talk about it here. So a god is a spirit, a being that is greater than human and usually has a special job to do, something specific that they're in charge of. Once upon a time, there was a tiny, little, itty-bitty, very small, tiny little god named Tiny. She lived her life hearing stories of all the big gods, and, well, let's face it, she was jealous. She knew she needed to think of some kind of special spark of an idea that would make her existence meaningful. After watching humans for a long time, she hit upon something that just might work. Something to make people think, yeah, that Tiny has really got a good thing going. This was it. This was going to make her famous. Ready? Here it is. You are not alone. She took the form of a very light breeze, and in a voice so quiet each person heard it only in their mind, she said, "You are not alone. You are not alone." People loved it. It was perfect, because who doesn't want to hear that? Pretty soon, Tiny was comforting people all over with, "You are not alone." Every evening, she took the form of the breeze and whispered it in people's minds. Until one day, she encountered someone who wasn't comforted at all. When Miriam heard Tiny's words in her mind, instead of feeling comforted, she felt agitated. Something was just kind of off about it. She kept saying to herself over and over again, "You are not alone. You are not alone." She tossed and turned. She couldn't sleep. In the morning, she went to read the paper, and instead of skimming everything, she found herself drinking in every single story. She was only halfway through when she found herself crying. "I am not alone," she said. "I'm connected to every one of these people. They live in my town and my country and my world. They love their children like I love mine. They're scared sometimes, and so am I. They hurt like I hurt. I am not alone. I can help." Tiny was surprised. It hadn't occurred to her that someone might think of it that way. Tiny kept watch over Miriam to monitor this interesting development. Miriam and a coworker met online in a meeting and talked about a law they hoped the Senate would pass. And Tiny noticed when Miriam wrote a letter to her senator about it right away. She noticed that when Miriam turned in her grocery order, she bought a few extra things for her neighbor and left them with a colorful note on their porch. She noticed that Miriam had tears in her eyes when she joined in her congregation's worship on her computer, and she heard her favorite hymn through the small speakers. Miriam got out her phone and made an extra donation to the congregation. She watched as Miriam wrote postcards to friends and family near and far, waved to dog walkers who passed her house, and strung up colorful lights in her living room window. But most importantly for Tiny, she noticed when Miriam received a phone call one evening from a friend she hadn't heard from in a long while. His voice was shaking. "I'm having a hard time," he said. He started to tell her about his troubles, and he began to cry. Miriam got herself comfortable in her favorite chair. "Take your time. I'll stay on the line with you. You are not alone. I am here." "I am here." Tiny heard those words like an echo in her mind. "You are not alone. I am here." You are not alone. I am here. Can you guys say it with me? You are not alone. I am here. In that moment, Tiny knew that she was nothing without Miriam's hands and heart and mind and spirit. She knew that what she wanted, what the world needed more than anything, was what Miriam had learned to give. So Tiny went to work. Instead of just spending her evenings spreading the gospel of "You are not alone," she spent her night times doing it, and her mornings and afternoons too. Pretty soon she was spending every moment doing it until she became the breeze itself. And that is why there are no paintings of Tiny, no statues or holy books, just a breeze, a low voice, and many, many helping hands, loving hearts, and caring spirits. You can hear the echo if you listen closely. You are not alone. I am here. Guys, say it with me. Hear the echo. You are not alone. I am here. When water bottles are left in the desert for those who risk their lives to cross it, you are not alone. I am here. At the bedside of a dying man, you are not alone. I am here. In the jailhouse and the sanctuary, you are not alone. I am here. Separate and together, you are not alone. I am here. May it be so.
Thank you, Ryan, for that wonderful story. As our children go to their classes, let's sing As You Go. In a moment, we will share in our offering a practice of generosity that sustains the work of this congregation. Each month, 1/3 of our undesignated offerings go to a partner in the wider community. For the month of August, our community giving recipient is Rainier Valley Food Bank. Rainier Valley Food Bank is the primary emergency food resource for Seattle's most racially, ethnically, and economically diverse neighborhoods, home to many people of color, immigrants and refugees who regularly face systemic obstacles to employment, housing, and food security. Founded in 1991 as Northwest Community Services to reach 50 families each week, the organization was renamed in 2008 and expanded its capacity to serve more than 25% of the food bank visits in the Seattle area annually. Their services include a grocery store, home delivery program, backpack program to feed school kids on weekends, and free grab-and-go lunch bags on weekdays. You can give by cash or check in the baskets that will be passed around, and we have envelopes to record your name on those if you would like. To give by text, follow the instructions on the screen. And now please enjoy this gift of music, Lucid by Allie Halpert, and performed by Rainier Reunion.
Loosen, loosen, baby, you don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go.
Loosen, baby. You don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. Holy breath and holy name. Will you ease this pain? Holy breath and holy name. Will you ease this pain? Loosen, baby, and you don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. Loosen, baby, and you don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. Loosen, baby, and you don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. Loosen, baby, you don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. The weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. The weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. The weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go.
Thank you all for your generosity, which always supports the work of this congregation and our partners in the wider community. We now take a moment, one service per month. We honor our joys and sorrows through embodied ritual with our altar and our stones. During this time, you are invited to approach the front of the sanctuary via the side aisles, place a stone in one of these water bowls, and return to your seat via the center aisle. You are invited to hold your stone and fill it with prayerful intention, placing it into the water to feel your intentions mingling with that of the whole community. We are interconnected. For those of you joining remotely, you are invited to do this in your own way if you have a stone or other sacred object to place on an altar or table beside you. Let us begin. A brief moment of silence for all the joys and sorrows known and unknown in this community. And I invite us to carry this meditation into song. Let us sing, "There is a Love."
patience with my technical difficulties here.
Everything grows under the same sun. All of us come from the sea. Everything grows under the same sun. All of us come from the sea. As long as we're alive, we only seek to thrive till we go back to the mystery. As long as we're alive, we only seek to thrive until we go back to the mystery. I have come for communion, a precious sweet reunion with the powers of the mystery. I have come for communion, a precious sweet reunion with the powers of the mystery. Everything grows under the same sun. All of us come from the sea. Everything grows under the same sun. All of us come from the sea. As long as we're alive, we only seek to thrive until we go back to the mystery. As long as we're alive, we only seek to thrive until we go back to the mystery. I have come for communion, a precious sweet reunion with the powers of the mystery. I have come for communion, a precious sweet reunion with the powers of the mystery. May I shine a light of kindness through the night till I go back to the mystery. May we shine a light of kindness through the night until we go back to the mystery. Until we go back to the mystery.
All right, hello? Okay. This is actually my first time doing this, so I'm a little bim nervous, honestly. I'm going to say that out loud. Thanks. I'm sure we are all familiar with the concept of deserving. We have heard people talk about what we or others do or do not deserve. Some of you may have judged yourself over happiness, assuming it was more than you deserve. Some of you may have judged yourselves in sadness, taking it as an indicator of what you deserve. Some of you may have contemplated whether others deserve more or less. Recently, I started to question all this, but it was a difficult subject to contemplate at first because I had never heard anyone describe what to deserve actually means. I did some exploration into the spiritual implications of the concept, and I would like to share with you my journey into the spiritual implications of deserving, as well as look at what we, each of us, actually deserve. At its most basic, deserving refers to the concept of moral entitlement. Morality, in this sense of the word, is a conceptualization of a correct way for things to be, a should statement. So what a person deserves refers to that which the person theoretically should obtain, have access to, or experience. Our language around not deserving can make this difficult to talk about. The phrase, "you do not deserve that," does not evoke a lack of deserving so much as a deserving to lack. Either you should or should not have something. With this dualistic framing, it can become difficult to identify cases where moral entitlement is not relevant in a given situation. In our current culture, deserving is often presented as a judgment of one's moral character or past actions. To start with a simple example, sadly, people associate punishment with deserving. We hear that those who make us suffer must therefore suffer just as much, to somehow make up for it, and meanwhile should be deprived of anything that could possibly be pleasant. This, however, is a vengeful attitude. This attitude has led to a focus on punishment in the legal system. Punishment is sometimes the only strategy considered when it comes to crime. But whether it is an effective or ineffective strategy, it is still exactly that, a strategy. It does not seem to me to be incredibly useful. But even if it is useful, usefulness does not equal deserving. "We can't let them get away with it" is a statement about practicality. The conclusion that suffering is therefore deserved, however, is determined after the practical conclusion is determined. It lacks evidence because, rather than creating a conclusion based on a reason, it attempts to write an alternative reason for an existing conclusion. Someone may have done something wrong, or they may not have. That is often debated as well. But even if the action was truthfully wrong, the "they should suffer" conclusion is lacking in any evidence other than a person saying so. Whether effective or not, punishment is not a good or meaningful strategy. Even in cases where someone is dangerous enough that society needs them to be separated, it could still be done in a way that minimizes punishment and works on building mental health. The restrictions of the current prison system are overdone and come out of a place of revenge, not justice. It can be hard to let go of revenge. When we get angry, we often come to the erroneous conclusion that evening it out would somehow make it okay. But is it even possible to even it out? There are too many people in the world to make it even for everybody when one person suffers. The revenge mindset is therefore a false fairness, focused on a small slice of everyone in the world, all of whom matter. But I remember times that I have wanted revenge, and it was not easy to let go of at the time. Please do not take any shame if you have fallen for this too. We also tend to use deserving to try to explain the economic system we are familiar with. For instance, we tell ourselves that the reason we get paid is that we deserve to. There is a reason we get paid, but the reason is because we make agreements with employers. Behind that, there are even more reasons. At its most basic, the employee needs or wants the money for its buying power, and the employer is a business that must employ people in order to function. This is a way of organizing money, but an organizational system is not a moral truth. Your usefulness as a worker makes no difference in whether you as a person are worthy enough of whatever you may be planning to use money for. This message that worthiness is determined by the economy denies an inherent truth about every individual. We are good enough just as we are. We were worthy as babies, and we are just as worthy as adults. The value of our souls does not change based on whatever interactions we may have with a transactional society. The implications hurt even more when we look at trade itself. At its most basic form, the goal is to trade items of equal value. But this, once again, is not a moral statement, but rather a method of organizing possessions among people. And there are some factors that make this not exactly equal in the end. First of all, people inherit property from their parents. This means some people start out with more to trade in the first place. Additionally, the value of any singular thing can greatly change depending on supply and demand, which can then change the amount of wealth a person has at any given moment. Our inherent value as people does not change like this. If trade and employment were about giving people what they are worthy of, this would mean that an individual's economic situation, including the changing economic value on what they own, is a judgment on them. This is not so. So, to come back to the question of what we deserve, the only conclusion I could come to is that we all deserve whatever we want. It may sound strange at first, but we are beings with feelings, and as such, we deserve to feel our best. Of course, it is impossible for us all to experience whatever we want, because sometimes there are contradictions. So, if no one is getting everything they deserve, is this a call for sadness? I would say it does not have to be. Deserving is about ideals. Ideals are good for setting long-term goals, but not for judging our daily lives. While individual ideals may be contradictory, the broader picture does not need to be. The goal is to do the best we can do, not to do what we can't. We can be glad that we are working towards a more ideal world, rather than depressed that we are still on our way. While we are on our way, it is important to remember that the world as we know it is not ideal. This means we can reassure ourselves that whatever is happening around us or to us, and whatever we may have access to or may not have access to, it is not in judgment of our inherent worthiness. The reality of the world is not trying to make a statement about deserving. And by understanding this, we can better see that all things, that we are all meaningful. Sometimes when I have had an unfortunate day, when the sky was cloudy and the computer was having trouble and I did not even have enough sleep, I have wondered why I deserved that. It turns out, by framing it as a statement of deserving, I was only making myself feel worse. Our situation is not a judgment about us. But this is not only about reassuring ourselves, it is about respecting ourselves. One of our UU principles is every person is inherently worthy and has the right to flourish with dignity, love, and compassion. And I believe we are more spiritually healthy when we avoid judging human worthiness and instead simply accept it. I would like to mention that this was a difficult topic for me to write about because I was worried that my thoughts may be unacceptable or may need to be downplayed. I would like to thank Aisha Hauser for giving me the courage to say what I really mean by giving a sermon 2 weeks ago where she said what she really means. I would also like to thank Reverend Carter Smith for this opportunity to give a sermon and for helping me understand what goes into one. As someone who is planning to be a minister someday in the future, I found this opportunity meaningful. May we go into the world understanding that those we see in it all are deserving.
So much, Henry. We invite you to rise in body or spirit for our final hymn, number 1020, Woe Ya Ya.
Thank you to all who participated in this service, most especially Henry. Thank you for that lovely sermon. Also, thank you to Rainier Reunion, John Hanson, Cliff Swiggett, and Marion Key, Reverend Carter, Ryan Cowdrey, Barbara Hanson, Nate Mesnard, and Sarah Deppa, and any other volunteers today. Thank you. As always, it is a pleasure and blessing to do this sacred work together. Please make sure to look at your West Side Week, which you will have received on Friday. Just a couple of things to highlight. If you're looking for a way to get involved and want to be a friendly face on Sunday morning, the greeters are looking for folks to join their team. Check out the sign up in the West Side Week. In addition, there is a link in the West Side Week where you can buy our Side with Love t-shirt. These are the yellow shirts that we wear as a visible sign of love at public witness events. There's also an opportunity to order the essay collection, Love at the Center, which has been selected as this year's UUA Common Read. Our next Sunday service will be on August 23rd on the theme of Love's Work with Reverend Carter Smith and Worship Associate Lisa Reitzes.
Thank you again, Henry. You did such a good job. Thank you for preaching to us. I invite you all to please rise one more time in body and or spirit for our closing words. May this be a place that you know that you are lovable and that indeed you are loved. And may you carry that love as a blessing everywhere you go out into the world. I invite Barb to release our flame. May you go into this week carrying that blessing. We hold you in our love as you go.